Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, Mr. Tucker Carlson, ex-Fox News, will get his freedom of speech back after the US presidential election in 2024. And that is legally demanded, by no other than the free media in the United States of America. Can you believe that? Yes. And that is, you remember, the freedom of the press. Well, the freedom of the press is infringed right now, should not be infringed, is infringed by the press. So the press are the ones, which is in this case Fox News, are trying to make Tucker Carlson not speak in his little videos that he makes on Twitter until the end of the elections in 2024. So the ones that should be for freedom of speech, because that's how they make their money, and they are in business of telling the truth, they will infringe someone else's right to make videos about events up until the elections. So what does it tell you? That tells the Fox News, like any other big corporate media, is not in telling us and being honest and telling us the truth and informing us. No, they have an agenda. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the 2024 elections. And that's specifically written in their demand. I have this article for you, and you're going to see this is Orwellian, my friends, Orwellian. But no surprise here, no surprise. It's just look and see, look at this evidence. It's right there. You just have to look at it and say, wait a minute, you don't allow these guys to come public and discuss current events only after the elections? Wow! First is BS with the first thing, and then the second one, you relate it to that, you connect it to that. Free speech in the West. Business Insider. Tucker Carlson has received cease and desist letter from Fox News over new show on Elon Musk's Twitter, report says. June 12, 2023. The Fox News has sent a cease and desist letter to Tucker Carlson after the launch of his Twitter show. The network has accused Carlson of breaching his contract, Axios reported. It raises the stakes in the battle between Carlson and his former network. Tucker Carlson has received a cease and desist letter from Fox News as his new Twitter show poses a fresh threat to the host's former network, Axios reported. The threat is telling a different story and people listening to him instead of the agenda. The move comes as Carlson, who launched a new show on Twitter has last week called Tucker on Twitter, is embroiled in a contract dispute with a media giant per Axios. And here is the most important thing right here. Axios reported previously that Fox accused Carlson of violating contract terms that said his services would be completely exclusive to the network until the end of 2024. Carlson's contract with Fox runs up until January 2025. I'm pretty sure that's a coincidence. So anyway, my friends, and I have another article I have to look for where they specifically said about the elections. But, you know, it's just a coincidence, I'm guessing, the elections in 2024 in November and it expires in 2025. Maybe it expires, maybe it's true, but I think it's very coincidental. Very coincidental. And besides, let's say Tucker does that and gets no money. Does it that as a private individual? I don't think he gets any money from Twitter. Does he? And let's say he starts something on Twitter for free. Still under the contract, he should be to shut up. Anyway, and this comes from Fox News. I think, I give you my assessment of this. This kind of contract, even if this contract is all legal, I think it is. I mean, otherwise he wouldn't have signed it, and these guys would not come after him. Even if this contract is legal, as it is, I personally do not believe or think or agree that a person who worked for a job, he worked for something, had a job, after quits or whatever happens, doesn't work for that job, fired, doesn't really matter, even the context, how those guys parted. That guy should not be infringed by, or, should not be able to talk. Now, it's true that you don't talk about confidential stuff that you know in the network where you work. For instance, let's say you work as a, investigator, or as a detective, or something like this, and you work with confidential information. You work with cases. You worked undercover. You worked in certain things like FBI agent, CIA agent. Obviously, after you get fired, or maybe you change your career or something, you're not going to say, yes, over there I worked with Gigi Brown and with Michael Tom, and they did this and this, and I investigated that, and I found that, and I spoke with the agent over there, located, situated over there, and blah, blah, placed over there. You're not going to say confidential information like that. But I think that person could talk about, yes, an FBI, this is what happens. There were a group of people, this is what happened with this, blah, blah, blah. You can talk about the structure of FBI. Even if, though, maybe you should not talk about that. But if you want, that's your right. That's your direct experience. Now, if you want to provide names, again, it should be within your rights to provide names. Lashanda, let's say, did this to me when I was working over there as an agent. And she was fucking, Deshaun. All right? And Deshaun was her boss. And because of that, Deshaun came and me, and then James did this to me because Lashanda was fucking Deshaun, and James did this to me, and then eventually I got fired. I think you should be able to say that, and if those guys have a problem, they say, okay, wait a second, blah, 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 blah. Is it true? Yes. Is it true? Is a problem over there? I understand the confidentiality, but that does not, in this case, Lashanda, Deshaun, and James, doing this to a person, well, come after me and tell me it's not true. If it's true, what's confidential? That you did this to me, that there's a Lashanda over there working as an employee? But I understand, there are limits. I don't think in this case should be a limit on Tucker coming out and telling us his opinion, assessment, analysis of current events. I think that should be within his First Amendment rights. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. And this little contract should not, trump Donald Trump that. But that's me. There's many details that I do not know, and I'm pretty sure these guys are not letting us know. The problem is I don't like the whole gist of this. A media outlet is going to sue someone who tries to do exactly that, spread the truth or his assessment. It's very strange. It's very strange. It's like a police officer, or let's say a police department will prevent other people from being just and fair because it's only them. You work for me, then you are there. You go for that, you don't. And I can give you that example of citizen arrest. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. Only the police. So I should not intervene and let the crime to be committed while I'm watching and just, hey, excuse me, police. Yes, I would like to report a rape. Yes, it's right now. It's occurring. Yeah. In progress. But I don't intervene. Basically, that's what they want. Why? Because of liability. And in the meantime, you let the child be abused in front of you by this guy. How do you feel? Do you think that's right? I think that's wrong. I think you should intervene over there. If you want, I think you should be allowed to intervene over there. But hey, that's me. I still believe in personal responsibility. I don't think that mommy and daddy should tell me and protect me and tell me when I should be right and when I should be wrong. I think I still have that compass with me. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. Freedom of speech.